deeper into this, and so that all your listeners can fully get your head around this.
Right. Well, go ahead.
So, firstly, there's a couple of things to think about. Up till 1780, roughly 1780, 99.99% of the total global population could not read or write any alphabet language.
Till what
and
year?
Never had
Till when?
done so. All their ancestors going back 10,000 years could not read or write any alphabet language. Now, this means that today's 6.5 billion, supposed 6.5 billion population, their ancestors going back 10,000 years could not read or write any alphabet language. It means that a tiny, tiny, tiny select few were the only ones who could record history, his story, we call it his story, but recorded history in any read or write alphabet language. Now, those
I can already see the
were
dark
the owners
places
of the
this is
castles,
going.
were the royal houses, were the high priesthoods, were the lackeys, and they were the only ones who could record his story in any alphabet language. No one else could. The other thing is that up until 1780, roughly, the serfs and commoners of Europe, particularly of Great Britain, and going into Europe, of France, Spain, they had their village talk. They couldn't even speak Latin or French or Greek or any language, even roughly up till 1780. When they were dragged off to wars, 1200s, 1300s, 1400s, and with their the landholders or whoever, the admirals and generals who were talking in Latin or French, the commoners couldn't comprehend anything at all, and you had to be privileged. Literally exclusively, you had to be privileged to be given the opportunity to be initiated into a read and write alphabet language, which took the better part of 20 years, because it didn't just embrace the alphabet language, it embraced sacred geometry and mathematics.
Right.
Now, sacred geometry or geometry, the compass and the square, is all about the rules of the divide, or divide and rule. These are ideas that do not exist. They're not part of creation. They are ideas that are without consciousness. There has no consciousness embodied in these ideas.
Right, I get
what
you're
does the
saying.
compass do for creation that aids creation rolling along here and now?
Right.
Or number one, or the letter A, etc., etc. You will find they are just constructs, or the structures of the con. And they're just ideas. And what has happened, we've been trained to put our energy into these ideas to prop them up, because they are dead corpses, like the idea of Supreme Court. What does the Supreme Court do for creation that aids creation rolling along here now? Can we eat it? Can we breathe it? Can we do anything that provides substance for creation that benefits the other life forms of creation? And you'll find that the Supreme Court does nothing, as well as constitution, democracy, government, rule of law, and thousands and thousands and thousands of other constructs, man-made constructs. This is under the umbrella of man-made knowledge invented out of thin air. Now, for instance, like you look at a tree, or a daffodil, or a bee, or whatever, of creation. We give it a word, but we know that the meaning of that word describes that life form, and we can identify that life form as part of creation that has a central role in the ecosystem, and it's involved in maintaining creation as we know it, and it has substance. Now, I don't have to believe in the tree for the tree to exist. The tree exists regardless if I believe in it or not. And that's the same with all of creation. Now, the other thing about this is that every dream has a creator, and this creation has a creator. Now, I don't have to believe in that creator for the creator to exist. The creator exists regardless if I believe in it or not. Now, again, apologies, I'm skirmishing, I'm jumping over.
No, keep going. Arthur, okay. Keep going.
Okay, right, well, in the middle of the word believe is the word lie. Now, the thing is this. What had happened to many of us since 1780, most of the serfs and commoners. Now, look, for example, the English language, which is called the New World language, it was commenced in the 1200s by Judeo-Judaic legals, or what today we call barristers and architects of law. And they drafted the English language out of French, Latin, and Greek. Now, French, Latin, and Greek are also alphabet languages. They're all man-made. They're not of creation. They have nothing to do with creation. They're not the language of man's tongue. Big difference.
Right.
Now, the thing is that...
What do you mean the language of man's tongue? What? Explain that.
Well, we'll come to that. We'll just maybe write a piece of paper, note down there, remind me to discuss
take
that.
notes.
But I'll broach that subject. If we get the time today, we'll cover it.
Yeah, we've got about half an hour to go. We've got about 30 minutes to... It's 8:25.
I'll explain it. Okay, in case I lose my train of thought, I want to continue on this thing, but
just go ahead. I didn't want to... That's why...
The distinction of what man's tongue is.
Right, Arthur.
When man interacts with man, senses of...
Arthur.
I think it's your mic. Can you hear me clear, Arthur?
No, I can only... Look, unfortunately, you all sound at a distance.
We're all low.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
I can hear...
Don't get it.
Well, Arthur, we're just gonna come back. I need to break for just a moment,
Okay.
and we're gonna come back. Okay, so just hang on there for a moment. Hi, you're if you're listening, you're on Talking Alternative. I'm Giorgio Repeti. We'll be right back.
Bringing you the straight talk on alternative subjects. This is Talking Alternative with Giorgio Repeti.
I'm Giorgio Repeti. You're on Talking Alternative. We're questioning reality, and we're talking about the origins of the alphabet. And and our number here, if you want to ask us a question, it's 877-480-4120. We're live from New York. It is now 8:26 p.m. Eastern Time. And in case you've just joined us, you're listening to a Mr. Arthur Cristian from love4life.com.au. He's based in Australia, and we're talking about the origins of the alphabet, how the alphabet came to be, and we're also questioning the reality of this alphabet, or near it. And I'll let Arthur clear that out. We also have Michael Biggins in studio from blackout.com.
I'm fascinated. If we run out of time, you know what? I think you can call back on my show. I have 5 hours.
Oh, okay. That'll be fine. So if you'd like to ask us a question...
Is that him or us?
That's him.
Oh.
The number here is...
Okay.
Yep, go ahead, Arthur.
Okay, well, look, because of the fact that we're skirmishing, this is not truly a proper structured conversation today, which is of my doing. With this limited time, we're just skirmishing over various points of view.
Yeah, you were on the roll there, Arthur. You were on the roll. You were on the roll there before.
Yeah, just relax and go through it. You go through it. Don't feel like in a rush.
The thing is that I'll ask you guys if there's any particular thing that we should go back over, please remind me.
Okay,
just start.
Okay, just start from the 1200s, from the Judeo-Christian where English got created. Go start from there.
Just before I jump into that, I just want to point out to you that the language of man's tongue was formed through man interacting with man and man interacting with creation. So the sensations of a flower and a bee and insect, that inspiration formed that sensation and man's expression.
Start. Okay.
And that formed the sounds of man's tongue, and the sounds of man's tongue were expressed as in hand and face gestures, arts and crafts, and in the tongue itself. Now, every sound that was formed by man's tongue was a true image of creation.
Right.
It is not invisible, because when we talk about man-made knowledge,
reflection of what was really happening.
The ideas are invisible. You cannot see them. Like if you brought up a child in a forest, and the child only knew the forest would not teach the child about the Western world civilization.
Right.
Because that information does not exist.
Right.
It's a fairy tale.
I get what you're saying.
Okay, so every living thing provides the information of its creation to us to expand our consciousness, because our consciousness is that information, what we call love. And that is the living DNA. Now, to go more deeper into this, and there's actually a document we'll be posting in the next 2 weeks or so on the website, which is a doctrine we're serving on the Queen, the Crown, the Governor General, and it just goes, basically we're hammering everyone.